Taking our 3 intentional breaths, if you like, as we lengthen and straighten our spine and settle into relaxed stillness, becoming vigilant and grounding our energy in the earth. Then awakening the love in our heart and sending that out to every living being. And then just for a little while, attend to the sensation of the breath in the body. As it flows out and back in again. Fully embodying this present moment. Relaxed and present, allowing the mind to simply be here now, breathing, knowing when we breathe out and when we breathe in again. Very simple. Just the breath. That's all. And with this stable mind, soft and present, take a moment to turn toward your motivation for being here today, this evening. Why am I here? And as much as possible to expand that motivation as large as we can, to include, to be all inclusive, not just for my own welfare, but to include as many as possible. Lama Tsongkhapa advised that the way for us to reach our highest human potential is to follow the three principal aspects of the path toward enlightenment. To first recognize this great treasure that we have, this precious human life. To think about it and to not just take it for granted. This human life, with which all of our temporal and ultimate goals can be attained. With its 8 freedoms and its 10 richnesses. So we are free from being born in the 3 lower realms. And we're also free from being born in the God realms. None of those birthplaces afford us an opportunity for spiritual growth. Too much suffering in the lower realms. Too much pleasure in the God realms. In this human realm, we have just the right amount to motivate us to try to understand what is the cause of suffering, and then to engage in activities of body, speech, and mind that accumulate the causes for being free of that suffering. We have been born in a human realm, in a human body. We have all of our mental faculties. We've been born in a country where we actually still have freedom of religion. We can practice. Yeah. We have the potential to do that. We're not in a remote land where it's not available. There are some places where Dharma, the word Dharma, has not arisen. We think about that. Our fortune to be able to have met the teachings, to have some faith in the teachings. We have faith, some faith, which we grow through the power of practice. The more benefit that we have that comes from practicing, the more our faith grows. we haven't engaged in any very, very serious karmic actions. We've been born at a time when the Buddha did teach, when he did come to this earth. And there are yogis and yoginis still reaching enlightenment. There are still teachers teaching this valid path. And there are still benefactors supporting this path. So we have all of these causes and conditions that have come together in this life. And it is to consider these various attributes that we have personally, having this precious human life. We can look at our pets, our precious dog, our dear cat. We treat them very well. They have a beautiful life, but still, they can't understand the Dharma. They can't engage in activities that will plant the seeds for enlightenment. So this is why we do extraordinary things for our pets in order to help them, recognizing, hoping that in their next life they will have an opportunity to practice. So they're fortunate to have someone to care for them well. But there are many animals who have no such thing. And beings born in the hungry ghost realm, they're constantly consumed by a need. They don't have enough food. They don't have water. Their bellies are huge and their throats are really narrow. So even finding food, they can't swallow. Really a suffering realm. And the hell realms? When I went to Italy, I went to a Catholic church, and behind the nave, there was unbelievable paintings. And I couldn't get over like Dante's Inferno, just like the Buddhist depictions of the various hells. But we can see a deep, deep suffering right here. We don't have to go to another realm. We can see that. But we have the good fortune to have enough to be able to practice. And this is an important contemplation to understand how it is that life before life, before life, before life, we've had an opportunity to engage in all these different realms. And now we have this one in which we can be free. By cultivating basic awareness, a balanced attention, we begin to see what it is that's arising in our mind, how we should turn it or augment it. Slowly, slowly, the more we practice, the more we sit, more and more and more mindfulness in our daily activity. More and more. So this week, look around you between now and next week. Think about the precious life that you have and see if other people have the same quality of life that you have. And try to recognize how rare this opportunity is that we have, having met the Dharma, having an opportunity to practice, having an opportunity to actually see the true nature of reality, to see our own mind naked. So think about that as we go through our week. And we cultivate this good mind, this kind, wise mind, taking refuge in those who have already excelled on this path, who have already reached the end of this path. And we take refuge in the founder of this path. So maybe we can cultivate our enlightenment garden, planting these seeds by engaging in our prayers. So if we visualize before us our Lama, so kind, having already done the work, already completed the path, and persevered, and tirelessly sharing over and over and over again. We see our Lama as Shakyamuni Buddha before us, and we take refuge. I go for refuge until enlightenment to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha by my virtuous actions of giving and so on. May I become a Buddha to benefit all beings. I go for refuge until enlightenment to the mind of enlightenment, to seeing emptiness directly, and to the Arya beings who have. May I become a Buddha to benefit all beings. I go for refuge until enlightenment, with confidence in the knowledge that the nature of my own mind is wisdom, its expression is clarity, and its compassion is all-pervasive. May I become a Buddha to benefit all beings. May all beings abide in equanimity, free of attachment and aversion. May all beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May all beings be free of suffering and the causes of suffering. May all beings find good rebirths and the bliss of liberation. I will help us to have these. Please, Guru Buddha, bless me to be able to do this. Now seeing our Lama, asking them to please come to the lotus above our head. Oh, magnificent and precious root Guru, please abide on the lotus and moon, seat above my head. Guide me with your great kindness and grant me realizations of your holy body, speech, and mind. Now, as we request blessings, allow your Lama, Shakyamuni Buddha, to be lined up exactly above the crown of your head, and allowing these beautiful rays of nectar flowing down through your crown as you receive these blessings on the path to enlightenment. May I be inspired by Guru devotion, uplifted by the preciousness of this human life, shed the fetters of attachment and aversion through a knowledge of impermanence. Each time, let's imagine that light coming and receiving that. Now go back to the beginning. May I be inspired by Guru devotion, may I be uplifted by the preciousness of this human life. May I shed the fetters of attachment and aversion through a knowledge of impermanence. May I be protected by refuge. May I be guided by a knowledge of actions and their results. May I aim for liberation through renunciation. May I be motivated by bodhicitta. May I be opened by giving. May I be disciplined by ethical behavior. May I be strengthened by patience. May I be enthused by joyous effort. May I be stabilized by concentration. And may I be freed by wisdom. And then we make this request. Oh, magnificent and precious Root Guru, please abide on the lotus and moon seat at my heart. Guide me with your great kindness and stay with me always until I attain enlightenment. And now Guru Shakyamuni Buddha dissolves into a sphere of light and descends down through my crown, gradually coming to rest at the level of my heart. And I'm blessed with inspiration. And I drop into that sphere of light. And using my breath as I inhale, that sphere of light becomes energized and begins to grow. Its nature is love and compassion and the wish for the welfare of every living being. As I inhale this love, this loving light becomes brighter and expands. With each in-breath, energized, and with each out-breath, expanding, growing, until my whole body is filled with this light of love. And I know that I am loved. What does it feel in the body and mind to be loved? To allow that to be true. And as we continue to conjoin this love with the breath, allow it to become uncontainable. And experience the sensation of this loving energy passing through all of our pores. Manifesting as this loving being. This aura of loving light surrounding us. Embodied in that. Mind aware of that. I'm loved and it's my nature to love. Love is wishing the beloved to have happiness in all of its causes. Allowing this love to continue to expand. To include everyone on this call. And then bringing to mind those who are close to us, our family and our friends. Inhaling to grow the love, exhaling it to offer to them. If we're aware of any difficulties they face, on the inhale, take it away and allow it to grow your love and bring them whatever they need for health and happiness. All those who are close to you, whoever comes into your mind's eye, attend deeply to them. then please call to mind someone with whom you have difficulty, or perhaps a group. And recognizing that just like you, they long for happiness and freedom from suffering. And yet they keep creating the causes for suffering. Allow your love to rest upon them. Notice in your own heart and mind what happens when you initially see them in your mind's eye and some kind of irritation arises. And then you transmute that by giving them love. See the difference in the sensations in the body and mind when you're able to let go of anger or hatred. You can make it quite personal. And allow your awareness to expand out, to include all those individuals that you have not yet met. And thinking that just like you, they want happiness. And take away all their sorrows and give them every joy. Dwelling deep within the heart of every living being is this seed of loving kindness, compassion. How wonderful it would be if we would live in a world where all beings inspired us with their generosity and love. Let us collectively imagine such a world. Imagine creating such a world. And then letting go of all conceptualization. Simply being present in peaceful stillness. Resting in pure, luminous awareness. And then gradually beginning to come back with a little movement. When we engage in that meditation, when you look at the difference, when you first you start with having love for yourself, finding the love in your own being, that you are loved, knowing that you are loved, starting there. And then moving out to people that you know, friends and family. And then to people who are difficult. And then to strangers. Where are the blocks? Are there blocks? What's easy and what's difficult? I wonder. This would have been the question for breakout rooms, but because we don't have the capacity for that this time, there seems to be always one small thing, one small hitch in the get along, as my grandma used to say. So perhaps you could just take a moment and do a heart-mind reflection. What was that experience? What is my experience of meditating on loving kindness for all beings, myself included. Just think about that a bit, and I'll be quiet and think about it myself. And then we can share. When I was sending love to difficult people, my first go-to is usually government figures that I've seen recently. That's usually what happens for me. It just, that automatically arises. And I was thinking about the difficulty, or what happens. For instance, I was in Portland in my mind's eye, and I was looking at the, I don't know, there are negative terms for them, but Homeland Security, the federal officials that had come. So in my mind's eye, I was seeing them. And my first reaction is, you know, that's hateful activity you're doing. And then what kind of people are they to do that? And then I started thinking about it and trying to go into that, go a little deeper than that, you know, to try to see, how can I see that? Maybe that's my son, you know, or my daughter. So I try to look at where my blocks are. Why do I have difficulty going to that person and giving them love? Or my own self, you know, maybe my own self. If I see a shortcoming and I say, well, that's not lovable. Does anybody want to share?
Elaine, it's Victoria.
Thank you.
I also think a lot about government figures. And one of the things that I did about visualizing the situation in Portland is I had all of the same feelings that you were talking about. And I realized that all of those soldiers are probably very young people. And I thought how frightening this must be for them. To be in this huge crowd of people that where anything could happen, and they're forced by law to be there. And so I started looking at them in my heart from that place of understanding how we get ourselves in fearful situations and what we do about it. And I've also had to do the same thing with you know who. And I often look at the person that runs the country, and I look at him and I think about the 12 links of, think about the wheel of life and what it must be like to live there and not have any idea that there's any release from that suffering, to not have any clue. And so I found that with people that are difficult, I have to start with being able to feel sorry for them. And that's very helpful for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, beautiful. Beautiful, thank you. Anybody else want to share?
Hi, I think what Victoria was saying is really helpful, that it is like important to feel sorry for that person who's like blocking us from like feeling love and kindness and compassion towards them. And I think the person for me where like I felt like the block, I thought it's almost like this person doesn't want happiness because this person is creating so much misery on the outside. Like it was even hard to see. And then you said, think about like, I forgot exactly what you said, but to think about how like they're, you know, creating suffering for themselves on the outside, probably because they don't like understand that. And that's like got me through the block. I was like, okay, it's not that, you know, that person's trying to be unhappy. It's that, you know, she doesn't know any better. So that's what she's doing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. It's helpful to take a good look, you know, to really see where are the blocks. You know, what's really happening in my body and mind? Okay, I'm going to go out. I'm trying to think like this. And then where is some sort of hitch? Where is some sort of block that I can't just offer them love? And so from day to day, whenever situations arise, if we look, why is it that I have this irritation coming to this person? Why is that happening? You know, the irritation is not from them, you know, it's in my mind. Why is that? So it's very interesting to watch how it is that we react because of our own projection onto that. I'm sure you've had many experiences like I have of somebody saying something and you're reacting in a way, or I should say I'm reacting in a way that is like, what? And I stop even allowing their words to come in because I'm already creating a response. I'm already in my own world spinning an answer to that question or that behavior, instead of just deeply listening and seeing that what they have to say is really coming from a place of suffering. It's very kind of heart-opening when I pause and I try to be humble. I try to cultivate humility in a situation where I think I might have the answer. But instead, just stop and try to give love in that circumstance. Try to be humble and to learn. So, giving love in difficult times really gives us a good look at where we have blocks. Where are they? You know, where are they? Lama Zopa Rinpoche used to say that, you know, your enemy is your best friend, because they're the ones that show you where you still have work to do. So it's really good to be present, this sort of really cultivating body-mind awareness, moment by moment awareness, so we can see where we have the blocks. Where's the veil? So we can come to the other side of it. And through the power of meditating like that, we begin to see how this idea of hatred and grasping desire, how we separate out friend, enemy, and stranger, thinking that really they're different. A friend is only someone who's helped us or someone we love. An enemy is someone who's harmed us or someone we love. And a stranger has done neither. But they can float in and out of these categories. Friends become strangers, and enemies become friends, in and out over a lifetime. But we fix them. Doing this meditation to give love to every living being shows us where it's easy to give love and where it's difficult. And why is that? So it's to think about. And we have this precious human life that allows us the opportunity because we have the intelligence and we have heard. We have an understanding. We have this path. So to follow that is brilliant. Brilliant. So does anybody have anything else they want to share before we dedicate this positive energy?
I'd like to say that what helps me, especially with, certain government officials, is to remember that I was really lost myself. And, I tried different religions, and it wasn't really until I came into Buddhism that it clicked, made sense. I've learned ways to deal with emotions, in a very good way, so that I don't get disturbed. So in thinking about, other people, it makes me have compassion towards them.
Great. Great.
But, I was really lost at one time. So
beautiful.
That's the story.
Thank you for sharing that. Yeah. Yeah. Really good. Really good. We're so fortunate. We're so fortunate. Yeah. Yeah. Well, so let's dedicate this positive energy so that we can put it in our merit bank and come together again next week and grow it some more as much as possible throughout the week, to rejoice in the preciousness of this life and this opportunity that we have, and to be able to share our goodness with all beings. By merit of this virtue, may I become Buddha and lead all beings, everyone, into that enlightened state. May the precious Bodhi mind, not yet born, arise and grow. And may that born not decline, but increase more and more. May all beings everywhere, plagued by sufferings of body and mind, find an ocean of happiness and joy by virtue of my merit. May no living creature suffer, commit evil, or ever fall ill. May no one be afraid or belittled with a mind weighed down by depression. May the blind see forms, the deaf hear sounds. May those whose bodies are worn with toil be restored on finding repose. May the naked find clothing, the hungry find food. May the thirsty find water and delicious drinks. May the poor find wealth, those weak with sorrow find joy. May the forlorn find hope, constant happiness and prosperity. May there be timely rains and bountiful harvests. May all medicines be effective and wholesome prayers bear fruit. May all who are sick and ill quickly be freed from their ailments. Whatever diseases there are in the world, may they never occur again. May the frightened cease to be afraid, and those bound be freed. May the powerless find power, and may people think of benefiting each other. As long as space remains, as long as sentient beings remain, there too may I remain to dispel the misery of the world. And let's also dedicate this to the